I believe this is our crew for today, so we are going to go ahead and get things rolling. So, first up, I'm very proud of myself. I figured out how to pin a tweet to the top of this Twitter space. Uh, if you have not, it's the small victories. If you have not seen this tweet already, it went out about an hour ago, and it's a little teaser for the next Void Hunt, and what you might be looking at on your screen, or at least part of it. And with that, I wanted to turn over to Hubert to say whatever he wants about the next hunt, within reason.
All right, let's see if I can avoid dropping any alphas. So, hey guys, yeah, we've been very hard at work with getting this Void Hunt put together. A lot of balance testing, a lot of tweaking, a lot of making sure all the new mechanics are working and all the art is working and everything is flowing seamlessly and whatnot. And we still have a little bit more to go, but we're getting really close. I think we've gotten to a point where at least with the balance, we're just fine tuning. We've kind of gotten to a point where we feel we've maybe hit the sweet spot in terms of how it all works and where what's happening in it. And it has kind of evolved quite a lot from our initial concept for it. But yeah, I'm quite pleased with it. It's very hard. It's as we've mentioned before, it's intended to start at level 12. So if you use level 10 heroes, you can try that, but the enemies are going to be at level 12 minimum. So just so you're aware of that. And then let's see. Yeah, we also kind of need to make sure that all the scaling is still set up as well. But we also have implemented our BYOP infrastructure as well. So we're currently testing that and making sure everything's working appropriately. But that is also, in a finalization stage at this point where just got to make sure everything's working and buttoned down, and that'll be ready to launch with the new hunt. And yeah, I think there's quite a few different little additions that are coming along with this that we haven't really talked about too much, that I think will maybe come up a little bit later. So I think that's a good little status update on it. I don't know if anyone else wants to add in. Beetle, if you have anything more to say, but it's been good.
Always. Can you hear me? I don't see myself.
Yes, we can.
Moving. Okay, cool. All right. Yeah. I was busy doing my normal getting into the Discord. So if I repeat something you said, I apologize. But I guess just for me, I'm super excited about this upcoming release, just because of the amount of stuff that we're adding. We're going to be getting some really exciting new features that I'm excited about, and that will make building out additional combat that much easier, which will in turn make my life easier, which I did. So I'm technically making my own life easier, which is fine. Good job, me. But yeah, I'm just excited about it. Hopefully it'll just make fights more dynamic, including the boar fight. So just things that will improve all around. So yeah, big props to everybody on the balance team, and Hubert and Ian with their fancy numbers. Just feeling really good, and without everybody on the team putting in a ton of effort, it wouldn't be getting to where it is. So appreciate y'all.
Very nice, very nice. I will say, stay tuned, and there will be some more goodies coming. So make sure you stay tuned on the socials to catch the alpha as soon as it drops. And looking forward to that. Let's see. Outside of that, I wanted to go over to Magnus to talk about Subsquid.
Hey everybody. Yeah, so I mentioned SubSquid a couple times now, I believe, but I did just want to shout them out again. If you've seen our tweets recently, they have indexed our chain, DFK chain, and as you all know, we have hundreds of millions of transactions that were completed, and so if you need to get some historical data, for example, like you want to know every wallet that's held hero ID 20 or something like that, you could uh, basically right now you have to use an archive RPC and go all the way through, and it's extremely slow. But since Subsquid has indexed that, you can use their SDK that they have, and basically just put in a few parameters and configure those, and then pull down their archive that they were nice enough to host for us, and it makes it a lot significantly faster to do any kind of intensive data stuff like that. So yeah, I'm very excited about this partnership with Subsquid.
Yeah, it looks super cool, especially for all of our community devs out there. Check out our Twitter page or Subsquid's Twitter page, and it has been posted and announced and has a link to their docs, so you can take a look at what might be useful for you. Let's see, other features that we currently have developing. Frisky Fox, you want to talk about duels a little bit?
Yeah, just a general update on duels still being worked on. There is a lot to do with just refactoring the smart contracts to make it so that it's going to be a lot less maintenance going forward. And there's a few other things that we're adding as well, other modes and things. So yeah, that's basically the update is just still being worked on, and it's coming along nicely. It is my main thing that I do every day. So yep, thanks.
Beautiful. And then going over to Dreamer, who I believe has a couple of updates. Are you there, Dreamer?
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
there
here.
he is.
Sorry. I was trying to add a comment to the tweet that's pinned with a GIF, and I couldn't decide on one, and I had to like X out of 3 screens to get here to unmute. But yeah, so on my side, a few things. I'm gonna go through a couple of reminders and some things to look out for next week. But the first one is just on Karate Combat. So our champion gi, which is a Visage at the Visage shop in the tavern. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. That has about a week left. If you've been following the price of karate, I think it's up even more than last time we talked. The incentive for this promotional Visage, I believe, is 1.5 million karate, which at current price is like a little over $8,000. And each purchase of this Visage is going to be going into like an entry to win a chunk of that. I believe 50 total winners, right, Bolon?
That is correct. And each subsequent purchase counts for extra entries.
Right, at like an exponential amount.
Correct.
So if you like the gi, go check it out. If you like karate and you've been following Karate Combat, go check it out. And if you like tokens and airdrops and things like that, check it out and spread the word. About a week left on that one. About 2 weeks left on the fight. So the intent here is for people to get more karate so that they can vote. Vote for influencers and other people in the space like Ben Armstrong, Crypto Crow, Crypto Grady, myself, Phil, and a few others. It'll be in Mexico City on the 23rd. I don't expect anybody to actually travel to the event, but there's a UFC event the next day as well for any that want to come and see George and the other influencers fighting, participate in the Karate Combat event, and then UFC right after. Just throwing that out there. I will be there that week. It is really high elevation. This has been really hard. I'm now down like 17 pounds. Trying to put on a good show. Trying to get some good exposure. The next week, there's going to be some videos hitting on CRU Plus. We will have one video for myself as well. And the whole point of doing this to amplify DeFi Kingdoms and to get, to be relevant and other things going on in the space and to get out there. We're kind of in a sprint now. I think that people have been busy with various things and training, and Karate Combat kind of does things a little bit more last minute, but I think they're ready to turn it up. So we're really going to be looking to take advantage of this opportunity from a marketing perspective and awareness, and we hope that everybody supports it. A few other things to look out for. I did mention Visages, so I'm going to do a shout out to, I think, the one that turned over this week over there. Want to make sure people saw that. Dark Summoner Visage looks really sick. You can hop in there and buy the bundle, or buy, are we just calling them body and hat mask?
Suit and mask.
Yeah, suit and mask. So go check those out as well. It was mentioned that we're getting closer on the new hunt, and there's a couple things about this that are really exciting, and I think people have hints to them. One of which is bring your own potions. We are working on a little like informational campaign on what that is. So a number of graphics and things to be tweeted out, probably starting sometime next week. That's going to give a lot more information, not only on the potions themselves, the utility, but how they are used in battle, and kind of the different types of strategy that go along with that. So look out for that next week, and any help kind of interacting with or amplifying it will be appreciated. We are trying to do things with like the time bar, with potions, with teasers, to get people excited and aware of the new hunt, so that if they aren't currently in the game and to the point of being able to contribute to the Mad Boar Hunt, they can start. Recently, we've added I think it's been referred to as the Daily Hunt Jackpot, could be the Daily Hunt Airdrop, Daily Hunt Raffle, but raffle is kind of an overused word. Similar with Visages, from a biz dev perspective, we're trying to see how we can use features like this to collaborate with others in the space, and also make it better for the players. And one way, like we do sponsored Visages, we are considering trying out sponsored hunt airdrops. So what that means is, today, every entry or every win is an entry to the like DFK hunt jackpot, which is in the same token that you are spending mainly to enter the hunt. I think it's about 1,000 crystal, right? 1,000 a day that is dropping to one winner. The way this was designed was to incorporate other tokens to allow others to sponsor hunts. So the plan and the idea is, as we have more and more players over time, people are going to be interested to get exposure to those players. And there are different ways we can do that in the space. A lot of times people do like just simple airdrops or token swaps or other things. We're trying to make this a little bit more fun and like, I don't know, level up a bit, since it is a game. So the idea is we lock in a sponsor. We note on the hunt load up screen that they are a sponsor. We give the details of what the sponsored airdrop is, and then that runs for a while in the same way that the current daily like jackpot runs. Each hunt is an entry to win each day, and it'll probably vary per campaign that we do in terms of like number of winners and amount and everything. But I did want to announce today that we have our first sponsor. It is from Klaytn Foundation. This was originally intended to be linked to hunts launching over there, but given all of the news over the last month plus over there, we are not able to launch anything there currently. But they have agreed to allow us to sponsor hunts on DFK Chain. So it'll likely be added at or shortly after the launch of the new hunt that is coming out. And the total is 50,000 clay. The current plan, which because it isn't live, there may be some last minute changes. So if there are, we'll notify you. But as of now, the voted on current plan is that 50,000 clay, not 50,000 in USD equivalent, but number of clay. So I think current price is like 19 cents or something around there. Anyway, that amount is going to be distributed over 25 days by way of hunt airdrops, where each successful win in either will be an entry. So that'll be pretty exciting. We're working out the details, whether there'll be multiple winners, how much it'll be, but that's about 2,000 clay a day. At, you know, rounding up to 20 cents, that's a good amount of change, right? You know, almost $400 a day being airdropped to players. We are going to be looking for other sponsors to come in. We might get a little creative with it. We are a little bit limited, given we are on our own chain, and if there are any new tokens, you'll have to figure that out. We could get creative with that as well. But the intent here is to find a way to collaborate in the space to make it more meaningful and fun and rewarding for players, while also having like an opportunity to advertise, so to speak, where it's not like in your face. It's simply a sponsored part of the game, similar to like the Visage. So a lot of efforts going into not only the building of all these features, but how to maximize how effective and impactful they are to all of us. So hopefully people are excited about these things coming out. Hopefully they appreciate the marketing that we're doing with the team and the resources that we have, and continue to support it. But I'm really excited about the next couple of weeks with the different things mentioned, with the fight, the marketing opportunities, and this new daily sponsored hunt airdrop feature.
Very nice. Yeah, I hope that got everybody awake and excited. It should have. And speaking of the hunts, jackpots, airdrops, whatever you want to call them, you know, every day somebody's winning 1,000 crystal. If you are the lucky winner who hits that jackpot, especially if you're already posting it on Twitter, please tag us. We love to see it. It's awesome. We also want to retweet it and amplify it. So if you're posting, you know, that you won on Twitter, make sure you tag us so that we can see it and share it and enjoy, you know, live vicariously through you, who was luckier than any of us and won. Uh, but really looking forward to that. I think the sponsored hunts are going to be a lot of fun. There was one last thing that I did want to mention on the hunts topic, and then we will move into some questions. As I hope you all remember, prior to the release of the Mad Boar Void Hunt, we did a little dev preview, and we are planning on doing the same thing for the new Void Hunt. So tentatively, we may look to do that next week at this time. So instead of doing the AMA next week, we would do the dev demo. But that is subject to change as we keep working on it, make sure everything is buttoned up and ready to go for that dev demo. So stay tuned for more details on that. As I mentioned, there'll be other drops along the way as well. And then, as Dreamer said, we'll also be firing up that potion campaign also. So keep an eye on the socials, because there will be a series of things coming over the next couple of weeks. But very excited for that as well. I think everybody really enjoyed it last time. I wasn't able to be there because I was at an event, but really looking forward to listening to our game committee guys talk about what they've built. I mean, it's really cool to get some insight and hear the behind the scenes from the guys that designed it. Awesome. Any last minute comments before we move on to questions? All right. Well, we're still going to be talking about hunts because we have a few hunt related questions. So Hubert, you're up. Given these assumptions that I could be wrong about, and those three assumptions are: there are ultra rare bonus levels of the boar hunt equipment that have not dropped as of yet. When the next hunt comes out, we will be about halfway through the amount of time that the boar hunt will be available. And three, it is likely that few, if any, of the items with ultra rare bonus levels will drop by the time the hunt goes away. Are we considering or planning any changes to the chance of these ultra rare bonus levels being rolled for equipment in the second Void Hunt?
Yeah, the short answer is no. I think they are made ultra rare, you know, for a reason. They are kind of potentially game breaking, not to a complete extent, but they are, you know, it's a pretty decent step up compared to what the other ones are. So, if they happen to drop, that lucky person has something that'll be very rare and very unique. And if they don't, then they just don't exist. And I'm perfectly okay with that.
I like that answer. Awesome. Let's see. This could be a good Beetle Dude one, I think. So I'm giving him a heads up before I ask Beetle Dude a question. New time bar looks great. The question is it possible to have a sort of what will happen next option that would show what would happen if you took a certain action before you finalize it? One of the most, easy examples being pass turn.
Totally missed it, Bullet. Just kidding. I thank you for the warning. That was actually very helpful. Yeah, so that is on the plan, on the agenda. So we're hoping to get that in as quickly as possible and get some testing on that. But that is something on the roadmap, which are my favorite kind of answers to give.
Love it, love it. All right, let's see. Hubert Workhorse, is interrupt too OP? I'm not going to read through the entire example of things that have interrupt, but many classes have access to interrupting a channel. How do we feel about channeling and interrupt currently?
As we were kind of preparing for this, I mentioned that I could go on a whole big long diatribe about this because there are some changes I'd like to make, and we actually do have some plans for some changes. I don't think they're going to go as far as I would like, but I do think just in its current state there are some issues and some limitations in what it allows us to do from a balancing perspective. So. I guess stay tuned for that. I'll say there's no changes happening with this release of the hunt, but we are looking at those potentially coming in with the release of the next classes that we're going to be working on. So yeah, and I think as we kind of keep talking about this too, and maybe Workhorse, you can chime in if you want to add anything else, but. I think there's a lot of options available to us beyond what I wanted to do, which was kind of more complicated. So we'll keep, we're always looking to make it better, and we will continue to adjust until we feel it's in a perfect state, or as good as perfect as we can get anyway.
My 2 cents here is that there will be changes. Changes are coming. Hubert is being coy, but he's got a great vision for how to approach some of these balance concerns, but also just how good it feels to channel or how good it does not feel to channel at this time. Although he is crushing boards with the channel tree for archers, so there's that. But in general, just stay tuned. I'm excited for what's to come on this particular topic because I think it'll impact a lot.
Yeah, my archer team, I always use my channeling abilities every time, and I don't even care about interrupts, and it's perfectly fine. So I don't know. I know it can. I think you just have to be prepared and be aware of it, and you can make it work pretty well as is. But yeah, we are looking to make some improvements.
Which just goes back to don't ape into broken mechanics. Balancing will always be an ongoing thing, and if something feels too strong, it may be, and it will get weakened. And if something feels too weak, maybe it is, and it'll get strengthened. So it's always carrying on and making sure that we optimize. All right, let's see. Fox or Magnus, if either of you have thoughts on this. So currently, ETH Layer 2s don't seem like a viable option for DFK because of the gas fees. Do we expect the proto-dank sharding upgrade to potentially change that to where an ETH L2 could possibly be a viable option?
Yeah, I think that proto-dank sharding is actually something we've been looking at for a little while now, and it's really cool. First of all, it has a cool name, and one of the problems that we've seen with L2 solutions, like it has a lot of benefits being an L2 solution because it inherits a lot of the same properties of the Ethereum chain, which is awesome. But there's higher costs for a lot of things, including storage. And storage is one of the main ones that we've seen. So proto-dank sharding is a way to sort of make that be more efficient and less costly. And so I think it's slated to come out this year in maybe Q2. I think Christian Peter was saying something like that earlier. So that's definitely something we're going to be looking at to see, what impact it has on those types of things, and if any L2s would be a viable solution at that point. So I am excited about it. Magnus, did you have any thoughts you'd like to add to that?
Yeah, I wanted to mention I'm also really excited about proto-dank sharding and seeing what the real world effects of that is. There's also a technology that can be used in tandem with it, but a few different L2s are working on this, and it's called a data availability layer, or a DA layer. But basically, you can still post the proofs of all the transactions on an L2 to Ethereum, but you can keep the data, like that's actually like for example, like the hero NFT data or the pet NFT data on another chain, and that can be secured there. And it's significantly cheaper than storing on Ethereum. So some of that's kind of new and potentially a little bit untested, but definitely some cool solutions in the space for making things cheaper. And our game in particular uses a lot of storage, so that's one of the big concerns. In addition to gas, is just making sure it's cheap to pass hero data around, especially as we look at bridging and things like that.
Very nice, very nice. All right, let's see here. Hubert or Beetledude, probably. Are there currently plans to make it so that you can queue multiple level ups of a hero after dark summoning?
So yeah, this is actually a topic we've been talking about recently, because we do have some plans to make adjustments to the meditation circle contract. Actually, we have some plans for the near term that you may see pretty soon, but that won't be this. But we have additional plans to come along with expeditions, and that topic is one of the things that we're looking to see if we can have that be part of the changes we're making. So I can't 100% promise that it will be in there, but we are talking about it very seriously. So that's maybe we'll get you a little excited for it, but still a little ways off for that. So yep.
Awesome, awesome. Let's see. Any updates on expeditions? Magnus, you want to talk about where you're at a little bit?
Yeah, sure thing. So, yep. As as I mentioned, we're going to split the release into two phases. The first will be a gas optimization release, and things are progressing pretty well on that. I, I imagine it won't be too much longer until that's in a good spot to release. Just about to put it up on testnet for testing, and then the next release will be expeditions after that. So yeah, it's I guess short answer is it's in progress, but just trying to balance priorities and things like the new hunt releasing soon.
Very nice. And there actually will be one other release associated. Frisky Fox, you want to talk about the Quest Requeue?
Yeah, so I'm excited about this. It started out as sort of a small thing I was doing back in December. Like, there has to be an easier way to just really quickly requeue my quest, because I was spending, I mean, it would take me like 30 minutes a day to like do my quest, and I was just like, I don't have that kind of time. So I just wanted to really quickly requeue it. So I added a little feature that just added a button to our interface that did that. And I was like, this might be helpful for other people. And then there's just a lot of edge cases with our questing system. There's so many things involved, so many different ways you can set up quests. So we didn't want to release something that would work half the time. So more time was spent on it to improve it, make sure it's ready. Obviously, anything that we put out, we always want to make sure it's really polished. So had some really good feedback from Mr. Zipper and from Huber and also from Winston, of course, with all of the alpha testing. And it's in a really good spot now. It's a very, very helpful tool. I think I posted a screenshot of it last week in Discord, maybe. And it's just basically making sure all the rough edges are off of it. And once it's ready, we're going to release that. And I'm hopeful about that being in the short term. And it's basically one of those things that's going to make it a lot less painful. It only takes me like 2 minutes now to just run my quests each day, which is nice. And I've heard like really good things too from others that have used it, and excited for you guys to get your hands on it. And so this is sort of meant to be a way to sort of like tide people over until Expeditions is also ready, because Expeditions will be amazing and it will like really make it a lot easier as well. So this is kind of like something to help tide people over, and also for those that just don't want to do Expeditions for some reason, they'll have other options as well. So yeah, I'm excited about it, and hopefully we can get it out really soon. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm also excited for that, and you nailed it at the end there. For those that decide that they're going to keep manually questing, this will make it much, much easier for them. I enjoy the fact that it was referred to as little, because it's not, but super excited for it. All right, Hubert, you're up. Thoughts on revisiting the possibility of stoned heroes who are dark summoning having some kind of bonus, or alternatively, but also using stones, being able to add stones or some other material to increase the odds of summoning a specific class in dark summoning?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, I kind of had a question about this asked kind of a good while back, but kind of just to reiterate what I said then, and I guess update on the state of where we're at, because things have kind of changed or are in the process of changing anyway. Is right now we don't have anything in the contracts that's actually tracking that a stone has been used. So as far as the dark summoning contract is concerned, it has no idea. So that's one thing where, I like the idea of there being some sort of bonus is not a bad idea at all, but just something that is not kind of built into the system right now. However, we do have a new hero burn feature that we've been working on and has kind of been alluded to in the past, which does require that we start tracking things like the usage of stones and crystals on our heroes. So in doing that, we're going to have to do kind of a big upgrade of data collection and adding that information to all of the heroes that exist now. And then we'll be actively having the contracts keep track of that in real time as they get used in the future. And that does open us up to do things like changing dark summoning up as well a little bit. But I will say, at least for the second idea there, that would be a pretty major refactor as far as anything that deals with the genes and having those have different chances for being selected. That contract is very concise in how it's written. It's not very easy for us to just change how that works. So it would be a pretty major refactor to adjust like the chances of getting a specific gene. So that's probably less likely than some other things that we can do. But yeah, it's kind of the state of things. Not really promising that it will necessarily change how dark summoning works, but the option will be more available to us to do. So it'll be something we'll talk about. But I'm also really excited for the new feature that we're working on as well, because that's going to be a literal game changer in my opinion. So it's been a lot of work on that point, and we're kind of getting to the finishing touches with that as far as the concept and design, and then from there we have to kind of make sure everyone agrees in tokenomics and kind of move from there and decide when we're going to fit it into our timeline. So but a lot of really big plans kind of all starting to coalesce right now. It's just, it does take a lot of time to also implement these things. So You know, not saying it's like next month or anything, but we are getting close on a lot of these really big features.
Very nice. I look forward to the day that it is time for you to drop some alpha on that new burn mechanic, but it is not today. Speaking of stoned heroes, thoughts on having a hero slash tavern filter for if a hero has been summoned using a stone?
Sounds like a beetle list question to me.
I know, I forgot to warn him, so I don't know if he was
Ah, what the heck? Go on.
Thoughts on having a hero slash tavern filter for stone heroes summoned using a stone?
That sounds great. I think I'd probably need to get some input from Pinecone on the API side of things to see if that's something that's currently tracked or could be tracked. But yeah, I mean, as it is, it goes on the list. It goes on the list.
Beautiful. I love it.
Goes on the list.
It makes me sad when we have AMAs that don't add anything to your list. Let's see. During tomorrow's AMA, could we get a sneak peek slash tease of the new enemy slash enemies we will be fighting? Yes, it is pinned in this space. So that has been delivered. Super excited for that. As we mentioned earlier, make sure to keep an eye on our socials over the next few weeks. We've got some other stuff planned that I am really looking forward to myself, and I hope you all are as well. Let's see. What is the team position on setting up an event for the community to send heroes in exchange for in-game items or even unique equipment, and then using those heroes for promotional purposes? Uh, it's something that we've talked about, as some of you or all of you may remember. At one point we had looked for feedback on the idea of potentially even minting a few extra Gen Zeros to use to summon heroes for promotional purposes. uh, I'll just say, you know, when it comes to taking those assets from the community, I'm a little hesitant in many ways. However, something where you know, would get something in return kind of takes care of some of those concerns. But it definitely would need to be, you know, balanced and mathed out as far as like what is given in return. It would honestly, it would probably need to be built as a contract to automatically give those things back. So there's a lot of thoughts that would need to go into that. It's definitely something that could be an option, but I don't think something that would necessarily be prioritized just yet. Anybody else want to add anything to that? All right. Let's see. Are there any block explorers that parse out the details of Halliday wallet transactions? Magnus, do you have any thoughts on that?
Yeah, so to my knowledge, there aren't any yet that parse out all those transaction details. One of the things that makes it kind of opaque to see what's going on inside of that is there's an executor on the Halliday side that actually like submits those signed transactions to the blockchain, and so that they all look the same on the Block Explorer, which is definitely makes it difficult to see what's going on inside there. And then inside of all the internal transactions, there's that's actually like what's going on with between like your Holiday Smart Wallet and all the different things happening. So I'm hoping there's a solution for that in the future, because I agree, it is difficult just looking at the Subnet Explorer, for example, to see what's going on. But yeah, nothing at the moment. But we'll definitely update if and when that becomes an availability.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Hubert, thoughts? I know the team did not want to make Void Hunt equipment too OP early on, but is tweaking the available equipment up for discussion. I'll just add the probably main one that I've seen kind of conversed about would be the Charger's mask.
So yeah, I mean, if we were to change equipment, the thing is that these are NFTs that have their data already kind of set when we release them. So if there was something where we were going to just update how a piece of equipment worked, we'd have to kind of set up like a whole entire reroll contract tied to it. Or we'd just have to say that everything that existed before works this way, and then everything that comes out after is this other way, and then we just kind of have two different versions of the same thing, which isn't ideal, and something that I'd prefer not to do. If someone doesn't like a piece of equipment, I guess that's I guess a lesson for us to do better next time. But I think others would. Like, for example, the Chargers mask, I know a lot of people are concerned about the accuracy issues that it has, but I think there are heroes out there that have really good accuracy that really wouldn't be that impacted by having that on, and would gain the benefits of having the extra damage that they can deal. So not every piece of equipment works for every hero, but I think that mask in particular works very well for specific heroes. I think there's also ways that we're continually adding for, some classes have abilities that increase accuracy, for example, like the archer has one that does that. So, I mean, there are ways to kind of mitigate this, and especially once we get to a state where we have more equipment out, just in general, if you kind of understand how the accuracy system works, where it's kind of scales off of your dexterity and has kind of a base dexterity level that you need to start with. It's also possible that you could use a slightly lower level piece of equipment that has a lower dexterity requirement on its accuracy, and which would mean you just would have a higher accuracy on that, and then kind of balance that out with the benefit you gain from the mask too. So those sort of things are not available to do right now just because we don't have a lot of equipment yet. But that's our plan, is not to always have very limited options for equipment. So once that changes, I think the options of combinations are just going to grow and grow from there.
Awesome. Yeah, and for anybody who has not listened to it, Raffin Neindorf of ADFK had Dr. Zipper on, I believe it was Monday morning. Highly recommend giving that a listen. They also talked about equipment a little bit, and different equipment for different situations. So highly recommend giving that a listen if you have not. It is on their YouTube, ADFK. Appreciate you, Hubert, as always. Let's see, for Beetle's list, thoughts on having total stats added to the back of the card for the hero, for the 8 primary stats.
I mean, I think it's a possibility. I think the back of the card is getting a little heavy, so it might be a question of whether how we could fit that, and whether that's something that is a universal request. But yeah, it's a list. I got a list, so probably something we could talk about internally and decide on.
Thank you, Sir Beetle. I'm going to pull one more question, and then we have the jewelers up here to share a little news as well. But last question also goes to Hubert. Is there a way to get more Moksha runes into circulation?
Sure, we just have to decide to do it. And actually we have. With this new hunt, there are, I alluded to some changes that we were going to be doing, and that I was just waiting for this question to say some of those, which is we are planning to add level scaling rewards to the void hunts, for the current boar hunt and the new one. So if you do a higher level than the base, there will be more experience that you can gain, and the Moksha rune drop rate will also increase a little bit as well. And the new hunt is going to have just a higher base level of experience and higher base drop rate of Moksha runes on it as well. So there are more ways coming.
Awesome. Very much looking forward to that. I hope everyone caught that exciting news, and if you didn't, you can re-listen to the space. So I wanted to turn over, I believe we have Mega here on the Jewelers Crypto Twitter, but it might be Dags, I don't know. But hey, Jewelers.
Hey, Bolon. Hey, everyone. It is Mega here today. Can you guys hear me all right?
Yes, sir. You sound good.
Perfect. Much love. All right. So in anticipation of Duels Season 7, and actually prior to Duel Season 6, I do believe. We've been building out something in the works based on duels, DeFi Kingdoms duels here. It will be called formerly Jeweler's Joust, and it'll be this sort of tournament ladder pool style competitive community event based upon DeFi Kingdoms duels with some unique restrictions. So myself, and I know, of course, a few others in the community, we have those top-notch duelers, the likes of Karakat, Esper, and a few others to name. There's a bunch of them. But, the top dogs of the ecosystem and the smaller duelers alike will be able to compete in this just as well. These restrictions I speak of will come in the form of 3 wheels, 3 random wheels. We're calling those the Wheels of Fate. And those will restrict you upon class, hero level, and hero rarity. So at the forefront, the first event, we are going to start with only trios, 3v3 in duels, to gauge interest, to gauge sentiment, and to see how many people we can get out to compete in these duels. Of course, there will be a prize pool provided by the duelers, and we're working on some sponsors as well. And the beauty of this is basically, depending on how many people we have sign up, you will basically compete with everyone, whether it be in your division or the whole competition pool in total. You'll duel a certain set amount of people, which we will decide, of course, based on signups. Signups will begin they will begin when Duel Season 7 goes live, and they will last for about a week and a half to give guys ample time to join and get to know the rules as well. Those will be set in stone by the time, the website will be set in stone and live by the time Duel Season 7 goes live. And then the rules will kind of be iterated upon by the end of the signups, so we know how many people are roughly signing up, and then we can kind of get a feel of divisions and pools and such. The first tournament, the top 8 or so, again, depending on how many people sign up, top 8 will qualify for a exclusive tournament with the duels, of course, and those same restrictions. The restrictions, those 3 wheels will go for that whole event and that whole event only. Now, of course, you could roll the same 3 wheels again, but the likelihood is fairly low. So each iteration of the event will most likely have a unique set of classes, levels, and rarities upon which you can duel with. So this is a way to allow the whales, the best of the best duelers, as well as, some of those commoner duelers who kind of just hop in at the end of the season and get those rewards and sneak in and sneak out. It'll allow anyone and everyone to kind of have an opportunity to compete and get those bragging rights with DeFi Kingdoms duels. So we're super excited for Duel Season 7, and we're super excited to kind of bring another community event, building off of that amazing sentiment from the community from Mythic Squad's Void Hunt tournament.
Yeah, super excited for that. Real quick side note, shout out Mythic Squad's Void Hunt tournaments. Playoffs are coming up, so make sure you stay tuned for that. As far as the Jeweler's Joust, where should people pay attention to make sure that they catch the newest info?
Yes, sir. So this coming week, me and Dags are going to go through in depth, a little more formally, the wheels and go through all the rules that we have currently. You can find that on YouTube at the Jewelers Crypto, at Jewelers Crypto. Actually, you can find us on X, and you can find us on Discord as well. Most of that is Jewelers Crypto.
Very nice. And for those of you that are looking for it right now, it's the guy that's talking. So you can click on his little circle face and click the follow button. So make sure you stay tuned for more information on that. Super excited for it. Please let us know how we can help amplify it. Obviously, y'all are always welcome to hop up here and talk about it as the details come up and the timing is getting close. We'll help promote it on X and all that stuff as well. But super looking forward to that, and it's awesome that y'all are putting that together.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, thank you for giving us the opportunity to just go through it real quick, and I'll drop out.
No, don't drop
Thank
out.
you guys.
Stay. Hang
Yes,
on. I'm not done with you.
So awesome. I just love seeing that type of stuff.
For
yeah,
sure.
It's super cool that we have people putting this stuff together. So it's a lot of fun. I would encourage everybody who is interested to participate, because participation encourages people to do more stuff like this. That's a lot of fun for everybody, and it's also a lot of fun to be able to stream that stuff and show other people who are looking at DFK or discovering DFK for the first time what kind of awesome events there are. Y'all are great. Thank you all. Fantastic.
And Bull,
community.
one more thing,
Yeah.
if I can add, that I completely left out, that is, in my opinion, my favorite part of the Jewelers Joust. There will be a live leaderboard. After which, you know, at the beginning, it won't be fully automated. Our team will be manually inputting a live leaderboard to show you where you stack up against your relative division or the whole competition pool. So that way, you know, when you send out your duels and you win or you lose, you'll be able to peek in, and it'll be most likely a week-long competition. So you'll be able to peek in and see where you lie against other competitors. So that's going to be super fun to kind of track throughout the week.
Hell yeah, that's awesome. Well, stay right there because you're going to do our bullish. But before we go to our bullish, does anybody have anything that they wanted to add? Anything that we haven't covered? Last minute thoughts, whatever the case may be.
I just wanted to say really quick that the content that was created over this last week was amazing. Everybody that put on videos on YouTube and stuff. And last night on Office Hours, I think that Sticks Intern created the biggest wheel of giveaways that I've ever seen in my life. So if you missed that at all, go take a look. I think he gave away, close to 100 different items and things on there. So Office Hours last night, but all of the stuff that came out, the speculation and things. And I'm super excited for Dev Demo Day next week, guys. That's going to be so cool. So I'm excited about that. Next, back to you.
Yes. Anybody have anything else? All right. Well, I'll just add a second. Don't ape into broken mechanics for the day. But overall, just want to say that our community is absolutely phenomenal. Love all of you guys. Thank you for everything that you do. We are very excited to be bringing you some more alpha over the next few weeks, as we progress towards that second Void Hunt and BYOP. So make sure you stay tuned on the socials because we will be dropping some info. Very much excited for that. It's a good time to be in the kingdoms as always. And Mega, let's get a bullish, man.
One thing, Dreamer, just please find something for Bullon to do next week during the dev demo. We need as much alpha before it actually drops as we possibly can. Man, DFK, best damn team in Web3, best community in Web3. This is why we are so bullish.
Bullish.
Bullish. Thanks, Mega.
Thank you, everybody.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, guys. Thanks all.
See y'all next week.
Peace.